the fact he's about to do it here, and there will be, I believe, that should be enough to get him over 300. This shows you the continuing excellence of the 19-year veteran.
And the fact that he does it without relying per se on any one receiver. S.J. Green has had a pretty good night, so too has Brandon London. But it's an entire offensive effort that gets Calvillo up to those numbers week in, week out.
8 yards, 2nd and 2. Anderson, and he gets the first down.
There you see the week-by-week totals in Calvillo's most recent 6-game 300-yard streak. 303 and counting tonight here against Edmonton.
Victor Anderson, his 16th carry of the night, up to the 50-yard line. And as we mentioned milestones, he's closing in on one. In fact, he may have hit 100 with that carry. See if they give him a full 4 yards on the play. He was at 96, so quite a debut for Victor Anderson, his first game start in the CFL. Stays in the block here, and that's intercepted. Picked off. Ron Williams still going. Down the sidelines, and Williams forced out. He has his first interception of the season, the second toss by Calvillo tonight.
Feeling a little bit invincible. Thought he could thread that one through to the receiver, but Ron Williams steps in front for the second Eskimo interception of the night.
20th takeaway by the Eskimo defense on the year. Giles will try and capitalize. Corey Boyd back in the backfield, and there's Matt Carter with the catch inside the 20. And we found out on that play why he is a quarterback and not a defensive player.
Yeah, after probably one practice in high school of watching him try to tackle, Anthony Calvillo was quickly moved to the offensive side of the ball. I know Kavis Reed was looking for a penalty there on the attempted trip from the Alouette quarterback. I think the embarrassment is punishment enough.
From the 19, Giles looks in zone. Kerry Cope can't reach it. Open on a similar route that he scored on a week ago here against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Kerry Coke has had a couple of touchdowns in that very same spot in Commonwealth Stadium this season, but just unable to get to this one from Giles. Had his man. Here's a look back last week.
In much tighter coverage. So 2nd and 10. There's Giles, far side. Good Carr coming back against the throw, down to the goal line, touchdown. First touchdown of the season for Greg Carr.
The Edmonton Eskimos aren't going to go down without a fight. Greg Carr, big receiver. Sometimes you don't expect him to be as elusive after the catch, but a great move on the first man there.
Nice block by Kuhorn as well.
Not a game.
Sprung him a lane to the end zone. The extra point is good. And it's 38-19.
Catches the corner. Billy Parker laying off him a little bit. That gives him space to turn it upfield after the catch. Nice run, good effort there for first touchdown in 2012. First touchdown as an Edmonton Eskimo.
Short kick here or not with just under 11 minutes to go?
I think they're going to play for field position. Lots of time left. We know Grant Shaw can boom it.
Ball bowling. And bowling out across the 30-yard line. And Anthony Calvillo will try and bounce back after the second interception of the season, of the game he has thrown, 6th on the season, and Dwight Anderson's been shaken up.
And it's not often that you see your starting running back playing on special teams, but this is how Victor Anderson initially got on the roster. It could prove a costly loss for the Montreal Alouettes. Young man who's had such a solid debut as a starter here. Number 20 leading Bo Bowling up through the hole.
And there it was at the end of the play. Hugo Lopez got caught up with him, and they check his right ankle.
It just looked like he rolled the ankle as he tried to regain his footing after the collision.
Without Anderson, Dwight or Darren Diedrich, the former Eskimo, will come on.
Victor Anderson's first career CFL start here in place of an injured Brandon Whitaker. The young Louisville product has acquitted himself very well. There's his biggest play of the night. Of course, his evening included a second quarter touchdown reception from Anthony Calvillo.
Getting a little weight on that right leg. And so Darren Diedrich will check in.
Former Nebraska Cornhusker, the pride of Cedar Brae Secondary School in Scarborough.
Impressive night for Anderson. And hopefully that's a good sign as he heads to the bench under his own power. $19-point lead. They'll try and work the clock here, and Diedrich's first carry is a good one. Guy who did start here in Edmonton before heading east. That's the 8th carry of the year for Diedrich. Usually comes on in mop-up duty. And his first carry goes for 9.
Darren Diedrich, one of those guys who might have been just a little too far ahead of the curve as a Canadian running back. A guy who had been a feature guy down at Nebraska. Never really had an opportunity to start here in the CFL.
Cornish and Harris and McCarty. And he's showing you what he can do here up at midfield. Another first down.
And no question the young man can play. Let's get a look at the sidelines at Victor Anderson. They've cut the spat off that right ankle. As usual, the Montreal Alouette offensive line just keeps blocking, and whoever they put in there just keeps running. Darren Diedrich.
Plug and play.
That's it. One of the elements that makes successful teams successful.
And like their quarterback, some suggesting maybe that's an aging group. There's Munoz in the backfield to cut down Diedrich for a loss this time. Eskimos need the football back ASAP if they're going to have any chance at a fourth quarter comeback. The Alouettes did surrender 23 fourth quarter points last week in Winnipeg. That was a concern of theirs that they didn't finish that game. Trying to be much better at that here tonight. Second and long. Calvillo under pressure, dumps it off to Lavoie, and he'll get pushed ahead but short of the first down. into Edmonton territory, and TJ Hill trying to get up off the pile. Lavoie took a swipe at him, and Hill helps him up. So third down, and the punt team comes on.
Well, the Alouettes managed to chew up a little bit more time off the clock. See the exchange of ill will at the end of this play.
Sean White will kick to Kerry Coke. And out of his stance, somebody along that line.
Looked like the right guard, Curtis DeBlanco, popped up early.
An Alberta kid.
Procedure. Montreal, number 38. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
It was indeed DeBlanco. Out of Thorsby, Alberta.
Played at Leduc High School, just outside Edmonton. We learned pregame he and Edmonton's Corbin Sharoon, longtime minor football teammates here in the Edmonton area.
Been playing together since they were 5 years old. We thought we might see them duke it out on a special teams battle tonight. White's kick, fielded by Coke at the 15. Barry Coke. Decent return, close to the 30-yard line. Just under 7.5 minutes left. Could be Brian Deesberg. Stephen Giles back to Kuhorn. Flag flies as Kuhorn and Osaisai continue their duel. And Luke Mullender's been shaken up. Another Alouette defensive lineman is down. And the Eskimos walking back.
I know you can't fuck with me.
Holding, Edmonton, number 63. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Left guard Brian Ramsey called for the hold.
Luke Mullender, the veteran, signed to the free agent this offseason, lines up at defensive tackle on the right side. 93 tries to knife down to the inside. Looked like there might have been a bit of a knee-on-knee collision there with the offensive lineman as he went down.
While we get the opportunity, a reminder, CFL on TSN continues tomorrow. The Argonauts taking on the Stampeders at McMahon Stadium. Live coverage gets underway at 7 Eastern, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific, TSN Mobile TV. Argos will try and keep pace with what looks like an Alouette victory, although the decision desk has not ruled yet. And the Stampeders will try to avenge a loss earlier this season in Toronto. So 1st and 20 after the penalty. Here comes pressure, and Giles is sacked back at the 5-yard line. That's Alan Michael Cash. And it's the 5th sack of the night for the Montreal Alouettes. And Giles slow to get up. So Kerry Joseph will have to come on.
And the Alouettes just dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Cash is right on the hash mark, number 91. A redirection move to beat the center, Kyle Koch.
And we haven't seen Giles at his mobile best as well tonight. Haven't seen him really get to the edge as advertised when the Eskimos made the decision to go with him as their starter. So Giles gets attention, and Kerry Joseph will get instructions from Marcus Crandall and get set to come back in.
And you mentioned Stephen Giles not running as much as was thought, and we all expected to see a drastically different Edmonton Eskimo offensive playbook as they went through the transition in quarterback from the classic pocket quarterback Ricky Ray to a more mobile guy in Giles. See Montreal's sacks tonight.
He's been flushed a few times, but for the most part, a similar launch point.
Yeah, very much so. Generally 5-7 yards behind center in the pocket.
Boy, those numbers really underscore how well Montreal's defense has played tonight.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, this affects a quarterback's psyche over the course of a game. It affects a quarterback's accuracy over the course of a game when he is constantly under that sort of pressure. And as we said, every completion Stephen Giles has had tonight, it's come at a cost. He has taken a number of hits there, as those numbers showed.
I wonder what Marcus Crandall told Kerry Joseph to call on 2nd and 33. From his end zone, stamps over the middle, and he's drilled by Rod Davis up at the 25-yard line. Decent gain, but well short of the first down. Not even back to the original line of scrimmage. A 20-yard pickup by Stamps.
And again, the Eskimos, in their 2nd and long situation, face just a 3-man rush from the Alouettes. They drop 9 into coverage. That's Rod Davis, who we're used to seeing play almost as a defensive end in Jeff Reinbold's scheme. Deep in coverage on that one to lay the lick on his former teammate.
And Stamps has absorbed a few hits tonight. Bowling, backpedaling, and dropping the football, and just getting on it in time. That was an adventure. Well, the CFL on TV.